Well, welcome everyone. So delighted to have you here. Looks like we've got people from all over the country, some who've had experience with Invest Better and others who don't. So we welcome you all, and we're excited to tell you more about what we're doing here and see if this opportunity to lead a circle it continues to inspire you, because we hope to have you as part of this community. So thank you so much. And Jasmine Tanguay is my partner over there. And so we're going to be co-leading this session today. So she really knows everything, and I will do my best here. Invest for Better, for those who don't know, is a nonprofit formed by me and Janine Firpo. I'm in the Boston, Maine area, and she's out in Oakland. It was actually a project that I started within an organization, and we spun it out together a couple of years ago. Our mission: to empower women to understand the power of their investments, learn how to align them with their values, and activate them for a more just and sustainable world. So it's about learning and activation, and about community. So and primarily what we do, although we're a fresh young organization, so we're constantly evolving and growing as we try to achieve our mission. But our primary things are we provide these Invest for Better Circle experience for both the Circle leaders and the Circle members. We do training for the Circle leaders. We offer a membership in our community of Invest for Better, whether you do circles or don't do circles, but have other resources there. And then we have a whole bunch of other robust education, which we'll get into, about values-aligned investing. This is just a little video. It's kind of, we think it does a good job of defining who we are, so we'll let you listen to that. And I should say, as you can see, all of this is being recorded because we want other people to be able to, to experience if they weren't able to make it today, and for you to go back to it as well. So I just want to let you know that. And we're going to do some presentation here. Feel free to put questions in the chat as we go along, but there'll be plenty of time to also just have a more informal Q&A as we kind of come to the conclusion of the presentation.
Money is power. So you work hard to get it, and you work hard to keep it. You're doing well, but you also want to do good. For you, it's not just about wealth creation. It's also about being in alignment with your values. But investing your money and making decisions about where to move it can feel overwhelming. Where do you start? How do I know what I'm invested in? What if I'm funding things I don't agree with, like fossil fuels, prisons, tobacco, weapons? How do I move those funds into where? What if I make a mistake? The current financial system was built by men for men. And while most men learn from other men how to use the system to their advantage, a lot of women don't have those conversations. You feel like you don't know enough to take action with your money, and you don't have time to figure it out on your own. Women are more likely than men to give to charity as their income rises, but we don't trust ourselves as investors. It feels like the financial system doesn't speak to us. You're frustrated with what feels like a flawed financial system. You realize that you're not in control of your own money. What if we told you there's a better way? At Invest for Better, we are leading a movement to build a better system that aligns with our values. We're doing this by educating women on a different approach to investing. It's not about giving money away, and it's not about profit at all costs. Values-aligned investing is about investing in what matters to you and getting great returns along the way. Things like sustainable food and agriculture, supporting female small business owners, or clean energy. We can help you do this. Invest for Better is a values-aligned money academy with peer-led investing circles and a trusted community built by women for women. We are a movement that is reimagining investing. We've created a values-aligned investing curriculum that demystifies the financial system. Our peer-led investing circles help you learn how to use your investments as a force for meaningful change. And more than anything, we are a trusted community of women who encourage each other to take action, and have fun along the way. Unlike guides you've had in the past, an advisor who talked down to you, a book that told you to just save more than you spend, we're not interested in perpetuating the status quo. We're here to help you step into your power. Join the ranks of all the fierce women who are courageous enough to do things differently. Join the women who are leading the way with Invest for Better.
I still love that video. And it just, I don't know, the women like you who end up leading circles really are just incredible champions. And I hope that you felt that you identified with that. So some of you know us very well, some of you don't, but Invest for Better circles, kind of the big picture, and we'll go into more detail. These are peer-to-peer intimate groups of 8 to 20, frankly, sometimes 5. It could be, they range widely in size, that meet together regularly. We historically have done it over 6 months where you meet monthly, either in person or on Zoom. We've just been now compressing it as a kind of a structure to a 3-month core circle, although you were able to be flexible with that, where we launch a cohort of circles every April and every September. In addition to the core circles of 3 months, we have deep dives, courses throughout the year where you can, and one can do this. Most people start with a core circle, but some begin with the deep dives. So some of the deep dives actually are on financial basics, investment basics for those who feel like they want that. But then these are also an opportunity to go deeper on something like angel investing or investing to close the racial wealth gap, or finding an advisor, all those kinds of things. All right, one last video, although I know some of you have been in circles, so you can always add to this, but just a couple of minutes from other leaders and members about their experience.
Invest for Better circles are doing is I just believe this is capturing kind of a movement, a feeling across the country that I'm noticing, and I'm sure many of you are. That's why we're all here today, that women are just like ready to be empowered about their money in ways that we never have, that we historically have not been. Just if there's any ounce of you that's a little bit nervous or feeling, what have I gotten myself into? I felt that way, and now I'm like, oh, you know, that was not an issue. This is a community. We're all here together, learning together. You don't have to know all the things. We're all, and it's just great that you're doing this, and let's get more of these circles happening all across the country.
I joined an Invest for Better circle to meet and collaborate with other women to move the needle on racial justice investing in particular. The circle led me to recruit other women with influence into deeper impact investing, and I've got a list of action steps to further align money with values, both in my own portfolio, but also with the organizations I'm involved with, in my denomination's endowment and a local foundation. Join the circle and spread the word. It's an awesome experience.
A couple years ago, I started an Invest for Better circle so that I could learn alongside other women in my community about how to shift our money to align with our values. And I'm so glad I did. Not only have I made personal changes in where my money is invested, but I've also been able to learn alongside others. And we've built an amazing network of women who are learning and growing and making change. I'm so thrilled to be part of the Invest for Better network, and I hope you'll join too.
Perfect level for our members to be having these conversations. Some of the feedback we've gotten from them is that, you know, not ready to really create my, official plan just yet, but I feel so much more empowered. I feel so much more fluent. I have increased awareness. Now when I see a news article about impact investing, I feel a part of the conversation, and just feeling more ready to have those conversations in their households and establish a plan.
I really enjoyed was really diving into how you personally view money. I actually took some of this learning and over the weekend worked with my own family to figure out some of our own financial archetypes and different things like that, and it brought up some really, really interesting discussions that I think will really help our family personally.
This is such a great way for me to continue to grow my own understanding of this and really be able to figure out what kind of actions I want to take. Create a space for everybody to just bring whatever you're bringing to the table and let's learn together. And that's really what it is. It's about, let's just learn together and find out about this stuff. It was also a really great way for us to continue to build a network beyond ourselves into these other, incredibly smart, intelligent, funny, wonderful women that are doing some really amazing work.
Okay, so in terms of the numbers, we have done 8 cohorts of circles. We had a short, like 4 or 6 before that. So over 120 circles have been launched over the last 4 years. More than 200 circle leaders have been trained, and we've had 1,500 circle members. And I don't think this even counts a European expansion, which is sort of an adaptation around climate finance that we've done. So we've been super excited, but we want to reach millions. So we really count on, this spreading ripples beyond the circles as well. In terms of what people have gotten out of it, I think you heard some of it from these videos. This is, increased understanding. They've expanded their network. They have, in terms of doing our surveys, we know some of them have joined even other networks of impact investors that are doing investments together. They have shifted investments. They start talking about values aligned investing with others, et cetera. And we're really pleased that we've got over 90% are somewhat or very likely to recommend involvement in the circle to others. And over 90% have taken some kind of concrete step. It's about 50% who during the circle experience actually move money. But we're excited because it's really action that we care about. The curriculum is structured to correspond with my partner, Janine Firpo's book, Activate Your Money. And everybody gets a copy of the book. And it's this is kind of an overview. It's really a great kind of do-it-yourself around values-aligned investing. Introduction, kind of around the stories and values. She goes into each of the different kinds of asset classes and also into the various support structures. So we draw from this as we go through the curriculum that we give you as support and guidance to run a circle. So there's actually 6 modules. And again, and Jasmine will get into this a little bit later. It's crazy. So many people who work here start with the J. I keep getting their names mixed up. But the core curriculum models begins with, as a circle leader meets with their circle, the first meeting is really around your money stories. So you really get to know each other around money stories. The second one is focused on understanding your risk profile and what kind of goals you're looking for, what kind of rewards. The third one goes into how do you structure a portfolio. So as one thinks about that, as it corresponds with your risk and reward profile and your particular goals. The fourth and fifth one are really around diving deep into what are some of the investment options first in the public markets and in cash, and the second in the various private markets and alternatives. Some of which are only available to accredited investors, but we really try to make sure it's very inclusive. About 3/4 of the folks who are involved are non-accredited investors. So there's all kinds of alternatives in there, like real estate, et cetera. And then the last one is around if you have what do you need for advice? Do you want a financial advisor? What do you look for? And throughout, we're really helping, you will be in the group, everybody will be helping each other create a framework of an investment policy statement, which defines their goals and next steps. And as we said, it's 6 meetings. When it was first designed, it was in person, and then COVID hit, which is when we started the cohort process. And of course, they all went to Zoom. Now we're seeing a mix. The advantage, of course, of the Zoom is you can have people in your circle that come from anywhere. Some people decide they want to have a circle that's really just based on folks in their area. So, and then some people do a hybrid. And again, we've moved it now just to keep momentum to meeting every other week for 3 months for 6 meetings. Again, though, if this is something if you'd rather stretch it out longer, that's fine. We just kind of support you in a way that assumes that. And typically you have kind of a larger group, and then you break up into smaller groups, both within meetings, and we recommend you have these little accountability groups in between meetings, just, so there's an even more intimate connection. So in the meetings, there's typically a large group, small group, and then a large coming back as a large group again. And then when they're Zoom, the curriculum is designed for it's an hour and a half. People find when they're in person, it often goes on longer. Okay. Is it you, Jasmine, now?
Yes, I think it is. So
Okay.
thanks, Ellen. And it's wonderful to see such a magnificent group of women here hoping to possibly do this. So in addition to the benefits in personal growth and social change and economic transformation that leading brings to you, we also do have a set of perks that we offer to leaders to make this experience more enriching to you. And well, one of the things that, this is actually a slide, I think, Ellen, that you had presented previously, but I'm happy to try to cover it, but please jump in. But what we see in our leaders is that it's a real opportunity for them to clarify their values and how they apply that to their own portfolio, to put their own money to work for a better world. But at the same time, they're building a community of supportive peers and developing a network within their circle and beyond it to kind of create relationships that are going to carry you hopefully for years into the future as you continue to refine and develop your work and involvement in this area. This is obviously an opportunity to develop and practice leadership skills, and it's, for a lot of women, I think the part of the mission and the motivation is to advance women's investment in advance women's investment literacy and financial literacy, and grow values aligned investing in their local community or in a larger geographic area. So these are sort of the intangible benefits. Sorry, and then this is the slide I was planning to start with. And in addition to those, we have these perks that we offer to leaders. So we offer a premium membership, which is a year of access to all of Invest for Better's offerings. So you lead a circle for 3 months, but then after that, you have another 9 months to take part in any of our deep dive courses, for example, at no additional cost. You'll be a member of the overall community for a year. You can attend all of our events and be part of the online community, as all members are. But we have this premium level now where all of the courses are also included in that membership. And as a thank you to leaders, we provide you with that. You also will get a copy of the book Activate Your Money, which is the basis of our curriculum, like all members. But as leaders, you also receive what we call the Invest for Better Circle Toolkit, which is sort of a handbook for leading your circle. And we'll go into a little bit more detail about that in a moment. And then there's a whole host of other resources on our online platform. We do offer a special little library of leadership development content. This is specific to folks who are leading circles, but it does cover a wide range of topics that go beyond the circle itself into topics like building community with joy or inner leadership. So these are sort of enrichment topics that we want to offer to our leaders to sort of enrich this experience for you and make it especially worthwhile. And then for the first time this year, we're offering a stipend as a thank you to our leaders. And so you can receive $500 for leading solo, or $300 for co-leading a circle if you're leading as a pair. And if you go through the application, you'll see there's an opportunity, if you prefer, to donate that to charity. That's certainly an option, or we can just pay you with a check directly. We do that at the conclusion of the circle. All right. So in terms of sort of what the role actually entails. I'm going to go through sort of the central pieces of it. So a significant one is bringing folks into your circle. And so your role is primarily as a convener and holder of this space. We aren't positioning the leaders as instructors. It's designed to be a peer-led model, but you're the one who's inviting and convening the women in your circle. So we encourage folks to go to their friends, family, professional networks, and so forth. And we do have women who come to us, and sometimes we can help direct them to your circle. But for this cohort in particular, we're really encouraging women to come in with at least 8 circle members, or you don't have to do that before you start. But by the time your circle launches, we'd really like you to have at least 8 women to ensure you've got adequate critical mass for robust conversations. That's sort of the first job is recruitment. Then you're going to kind of orient them to the circle experience. We provide a lot of resources to them directly, but you're checking in and just making sure that they're finding what they need and are comfortable with what's coming next. And then in terms of the schedule of the meetings themselves, that's pretty much entirely within your control. We would like these circles to begin in September, and we're planning that you'll be finishing the 6th session ideally by the end of November. But the exact schedule, day and time is completely up to you as a leader. And if you're leading an in-person circle, or you just want a longer, more flexible time frame, you have the option of monthly meetings rather than biweekly meetings, if that's a better fit, as Ellen mentioned. And you'll set up the Zoom sessions or decide if you're going to meet in person where that's going to be and so forth. And then facilitating the sessions. So we do provide a pretty robust framework in terms of content, slide decks, discussion questions. So there's not a lot of prep that you need to do in the way of deciding how you're going to present the material. But the model is really designed to have participants absorb the content in their self-study, in their homework between the sessions. So they're doing a lot of reading, watching videos, working on worksheets, and so forth in between their meetings, and then they're coming together to talk about it. And you're hosting that conversation. And that's really generally the essence of that 90-minute session, or those 6 90-minute sessions. So you'll be facilitating that. And then we want to make sure people are feeling comfortable and supported throughout this whole process. So we do provide monthly leader check-ins. So you can participate in those when you can. It's not mandatory, but we want to offer that as a form of support and community among the leader cohort, so that you can troubleshoot and share stories and get advice from us as you go through your meetings. And so we do those on Zoom on a monthly basis. And then we just ask that you bring feedback back to us as you go through the process. We want to make sure that we're hearing how it's going in your circles, and we're always updating and improving the process. So we really appreciate when leaders take the time to share back with us and with the broader leader community how that's going for them. So one of the things that I do want to address is just the question of whether folks need expertise in financial services in order to serve as a leader. And what we've found is that it does help to have fluency in sort of in finance broadly, and some experience with impact investing. However, we can match you with a co-leader who has that expertise if you don't feel like you're strong in that area. So we have former leaders who are experienced and may have that skill set, but we can partner you with. And if you feel like you've got, you're able to recruit the women, but maybe don't have the finance chops, then you might make a great pair with one of these former leaders who's a financial advisor or who has some experience with that. So that's a possibility. And I just want to make sure, you know, folks know that it's not required to have that specific background. And we do provide you with modules for each meeting. So it's a 5 or 10 minute video, which you'll watch, and it provides a fair amount of detail as to what sort of discussions you're going to lead, what sort of questions you're going to provide to the group. So I think you'll find there's like a fair amount of structure, that you're not making this, having to invent any of this from scratch, but there's also flexibility. We want to make sure people can riff on it in ways that you know, make sense for the particular group that you have and your own style and so forth. So there's a lot of flexibility if you want to adapt what we've provided, but there's a fair amount of structure if you just sort of want to do it by the book. We do have, as I mentioned, these monthly check-ins, but we also have personalized support ongoing throughout the process from the Invest for Better team. We're here for you all the time, phone, Zoom, email, Money Networks chat, whatever you need from us to keep you moving through the process. We're here to provide that. And then we also have a private leader group in Mighty Networks, which, if you haven't been there, is our private member community. And I'll explain a little bit more about that in a moment. But it's a really fabulous group of women who tend to become leaders, and it's a great opportunity to connect with other leaders within this space on the Money Network, where you'll be interacting as a leader cohort. So that's sort of how we're supporting you along the way. And then let's see, we'll talk a little bit about recruitment. So in terms of recruitment, what we're hoping is that you'll be able to reach out to folks in your life who've been really waiting for an opportunity like this. I think for a lot of folks, there's a desire that's maybe been long-standing to take some action on this, but maybe they haven't had the right opportunity or the right push to really dive in. And so we're not expecting you to sell this to people who aren't interested, but if you can tap into communities of people like you who are passionate about this and looking for this opportunity, it's really providing a wonderful opportunity for them to take part. And it's you know, not a lot of money for what is provided, and we're actually also providing a discount on our membership and the course to help make your recruitment a little bit easier. So our basic membership is $50, and then we provide a 75% discount on the core curriculum course, which is normally $200. So for a total of $100, they get a year of membership and participation in the Circle experience. And in terms of helping you get that information out there, we're going to provide you with a sample invitation. We're going to have a webinar that you can invite folks to that's live, where we'll be presenting about these circles. So if you don't feel like you can explain it, you can send prospective members to that, and we'll be offering, Janine will be presenting on that and talking about the Circle experience and what is in it for people and why they might want to join. And we'll also provide you with a landing page to market your Circle. So you'll have, you know, a little bit about you, and then all of the information that folks need to sign up and to learn more about the experience and to join. So those are the resources around recruitment. And then I think it's one of the things that we want people to know before they join is that, you know, these are for the members, is that I think the most important part is just trying to participate consistently. And so having some clarity around what that really means at the outset is helpful as you're doing recruiting. And so prior to each module, for example, we have about an hour of self-study that participants will do in advance of the meeting. And then as we mentioned many times, we've got 90-minute meetings, 6 of them total. We also go through an exercise at the beginning of the circle experience where the group decides on a set of ground rules that are, generally pretty common sense, but they have to do with, establishing trust and confidentiality within the circle. And so we just obviously expect that any circle participant will honor the ground rules that the group agrees with. And then we've added a component just in the last year or so, which people really like, which is an accountability trio or pair that checks in between meetings. And not every circle does this, and not everyone within a circle does it, but people who do really get a lot out of it. And so that's just an opportunity to meet in a group of 3 or one-on-one with a partner, maybe on the off weeks, and just, connect on how the pre-work is going, or, how check in about how your progress has been on meeting your own goals over the course of the circle experience. And I've mentioned a few times that we have an online membership portal, and I just wanted to mention a little bit more about what's there. So we have all of our curricula for the Invest for Better courses. So this core curriculum, and then the deep dive courses that Ellen mentioned, they all live on this platform. We have event listings, and some of you have been to events of ours in the past, but we have several, usually 2 to 3 events every month that are open to all of our members, and many to non-members as well, that are a nice supplement to the circle experience. They're absolutely not required. Folks who are joining your circles don't need to come to these, but they're an additional benefit of membership that people really appreciate. Topics, different themes. We have a office hours where folks can ask questions of financial advisors. We have an investor series where folks who have a specific product that they want to offer present to our community, and we discuss the pros and cons of it. So lots going on that can be supplemental to the circle experience, and those listings are there. We've also got a conversation hub that is really an opportunity to connect with folks throughout the Invest for Better community. So all around the country and the world, really, asking questions of each other, connecting on specific interests and so forth. And then each circle has a private space, so you can get together and meet as a group, or get together and post things, exchange messages. It's just kind of like a private social network, essentially. There's a chat function. There's a message board wall kind of feed that you can post to, and a lot of folks appreciate having an ability to communicate as a circle together as you go through the experience. And then as members of Invest for Better, there's certain discounts and other supplemental benefits that you receive, and so there's information about that on our platform. And then we have archives, for example, of all of our webinars that have happened in the past, and so folks can go back and watch those, or dig deeper into any of the additional resources that we have online.